You've seen my bow setups before. I keep them very simple. T-bone is one of the best bow wrenches. As Waylon's in here riding the tractor, he's riding around. Like I said, it never stops happening around here. You'll see that on some of other episodes, man. I keep my bow real simple. I don't even shoot a wrist strap. Hey, Wade! Hey, Wade, can you park that thing? I'm trying to tell people about my bow over here. You good? And then we might go shoot it. Find your bow.
Hey, are you still filming?
Yeah, we're videoing. Keeping things coming at you, and I'm about to give y'all my bow setup and a little bit of stuff I throw on the road when I go on the road. Obviously, I'm about to go elk hunting, but also I want to give you a little latest what's happening, current events, man. We are really knocking them down. 2020 has been just a booger bear. But as far as the start of the hunting season, we have been laying them down, man. So start off with the not so good news. So I went to Utah early. I whiffed on one, so y'all can all be laughing at me there, because I know Nick and T-Bone definitely did, and the whole team. But hey, we all miss. Unfortunately, it was me this time that missed. So don't know exactly what happened, other than the arrow did not find its mark. So I don't really have any excuses, other than I don't have any mule deer back straps. But Nick ended up shooting a really nice deer out there, so we got a really good spot and stalk, you know, backcountry mule deer hunt. And then I just found out a couple days ago, Nick just shot a really good whitetail in Wyoming, kind of where he grew up, right there in Sundance, Wyoming. So he got a really good show there. Excited about that, because that's like the homecoming for Nick, where he was a guide out there at 7J. It's actually where I met him. And then my buddy, and we all know him, the Big T-Bone, just knocked down a good buck in Kentucky last night. And then, for the first time ever, Hannah Barron, who's a good friend of ours, her and her dad shot 2 good bucks in Kentucky as well. And the cool thing about the hunt that's going to show up on Bone Collector with Hannah Barron, it's their first time ever hunting and shooting a deer on video with her bow, and she smoked it, and it is a stud, a deer that's 160 inches, a really cool buck. So we got 3 or 4 shows in the bag. We're starting good, and finally, it's Waddy's turn, and that's why I really want to start this video and give y'all some other stuff. Thank y'all for subscribing, by the way. If you like this kind of stuff, be sure to subscribe on the Bone Collector channel. But I want to talk to y'all a little bit about bow hunting and what I set up my bow like every year. And this is a current model, and show you some of the things that I got my bow set up this year. But also, I want to tell you, we get a lot of questions, and this is something handy. And I've never been big on a lot of how-to, just because I've always thought there was too much of it. But here recently, I've noticed, especially on these channels, it's really cool to kind of give you some tips and tactics. And I know I watch a lot of the fishing ones. I'm always watching Major League Fishermen, and I'm watching, you know, Van Dam and some of these guys, and Justin Atkins. I'm always picking up tips, sometimes very small. So I want to give y'all a small, subtle tip that's helped me a ton on my laser rangefinder setup and binocular setup. I always take binoculars. I always wear them, always, when I'm deer hunting, elk hunting, whether I'm in a deer stand or running and gunning, spot and stalk. You get so used to using them, and I'm always in my binoculars, you know, looking. And I cannot hardly hunt unless I know the rangefinders. I was always a terrible tournament archer when you had to guess yardage, and so these Bushnell LRFs just changed things. They give you the arc. You can trust in those arcs. If you're up in a stand, you shoot, say, an 80-yard shot or say a 60-yard shot, and it's straight down, it might tell you shoot 55 or even 50. So the arc in these things work, this angle compensator. And what I like to do is I keep it right there. Everything's quiet, you know, when you're sitting there. But then all of a sudden you see your target buck coming, or a big doe, whatever it is, or you elk hunting. I'm literally stalking through the woods a lot of times, and I'll have my rangefinder right here, or I'm in a stand, I'm holding my bow, and I'm seeing the deer that I want to shoot. And as he's coming in, I'm right here, and I'm just steady ranging him, steady ranging him, steady ranging him. A lot of times I'll go right ahead of him, and I'll range where I think he's about to walk into. And I literally, from this point, can drop that. And it's quiet, lands on my soft fleece element clothing, and I can come to full draw and shoot. So having this right here by my side, and having on this little parachute cord on a simple little setup like this carabiner right here, a cheap carabiner, not your mountain climbing carabiner, just your cheap carabiner right there. And man, it's always there. So that's a good tip that has really helped me, and it's helped a lot. So going on to my bow setup, this is the Hoyt RX model. This is the RX4, the newest and greatest from Hoyt. I've always been a big fan of Hoyt. I've been blessed. The only bow that I ever shot since I've had, really before I even started hunting on camera, was really with Hoyt. So I have loved the relationship with Hoyt, and I've loved their product. Their engineers are unbelievable, their whole family. And real simple the way I got this thing set up. First of all, I like to work on bows, but I'm not near as good as T-Bone. So T-Bone actually gets my bows and sets them up for me. He ties on the D-loops, ties in my peep sight, and really gets me adjusted and rocking and rolling. And one of the most important parts about a bow and arrow, the biggest investment you can make is in your rest. The drop-aways have been amazing. I think most everybody's went to them. You know, I remember in the day it was all the Hunter Supremes, your filler gauge and stuff like that. But this particular rest is an HHA. It's a Virtus. It is unbelievable. It's heavy duty. Literally cold weather, rain, all the elements, dust, whatever. It's real quiet when you draw back, silent draw. The sight that I'm shooting, this is a dead ringer. This is a bone collector model. This bone collector wheel sight is pretty much stock, other than the fact I did add one pin. It comes out to a 50-yard pin, or however you want to set them up. I guess I should say 4 pins, but this particular bow, I actually stole a pin and put me a 60-yard pin. So I've got 20 to 60 already on my sight. And as you can see on my wheel here, all I have to do is a simple adjustment. This 60 marks my last pin, and so then I can just dial down to 70, 80, 90, and it's all the way tracks out to 100. So I've got 100 yards by dialing this wheel sight down using my 60-yard pin. I shoot the fuse quiver. I shoot with my quiver on my bow, so arrows on, because, man, I used to shoot them with them in the tree or in my pack or on my hip, but man, let me tell you something. If you miss, or especially elk hunting, sometimes having that extra arrow real quick, like I like it. And plus, I just got it on my bow. I practice with it on my bow. Sometimes the wind can be a little frustrating, but I shoot with my quiver on my bow. That's just how I do it. And if I got 6 slots or 12 slots, I put that many arrows in. I don't want to be out of bullets. Ain't nothing you can do when you ain't got no bullets. So I load my quiver to the gill. And I can't tell you how many times I've been in Texas or out on a hog hunt, and I'll use every arrow I got. I also shoot for a stabilizer. I shoot during the deer season, elk season, I shoot a Tacticam. And actually what I did, I piecemealed and robbed an accessory part off a fuse to kind of give me a little length on this Tacticam setup. So Tacticam has the bow hunting setup that you can put a Tacticam right within this model here, and it'll bolt right to your riser of your bow. It'll fit on any bow. And what I like about that, when you're hunting, all you gotta do is one button, and when you hit that button, it starts recording, and you're rocking and rolling. You can record your hunt to show your family or share it, and it's all HD quality. I just actually put this on there just to give it a little bit better length and a little bit more weight out on the end, so that's the way I like that. Also, another tactic or tip that I should use is I actually would take just a little Tacticam, you know, sleeve that comes with the Tacticam, and I'll just put it right on the end of this, basically, and just pull it right over, and it gives me a nice protector over my lens and kind of protects that Tacticam. So this particular release is a True Ball Bone Collector Beast release. This is a prototype. This is the first one they ever sent us. We had 3 that was kind of milled out, and you can see that it's not even been cast or painted. It's basically just the original stainless aluminum there, and it's ready to rock, and I still use it. Only thing I've ever done, I put on a new wrist strap last year, so still shooting that True Ball Beast release. That's the Bone Collector model. My bow also, a lot of people ask me, so I've got a crazy deal. So I'm about 6'2", but I actually only shoot a 28-inch draw, and so my left arm, if you look, is quite a bit shorter than my right arm. And I used to love to race dirt bikes. When I was like 11 years old, I had a bad dirt bike crash racing in Penton, Alabama, and broke my shoulder. And so it grew back shorter than my right. So with that, to compensate being a little shorter draw length, I pull 76 to 78 pounds. Right now this bow is 76 pounds on the draw weight, on a 28-inch draw, and I'm slinging the arrow really, really good. And you can see outside of that, my initial bow setup is very simple. Hoyt will allow you can get this Bone Collector Edition bow. It comes with a limb package. You can accessorize these Hoyts however you want to, so you can change any of these accessories to whatever color you want. You can get in Realtree, you can black it out, you can get it in tan. There is a plethora of different things you can decorate your Hoyt in, and so pretty much just like picking out a new car, you can pick out and accessorize your Hoyt just as you want. You can even change the color of this stop right here. So really cool setup. When it comes to my arrows, we have been for the last several years been working with Victory on this carbon shaft. This shaft is sold exclusively at Walmart. It's a Bone Collector 350 shaft. I really like it. It's 8.2 grains per inch. So this is a pretty light arrow. I got some heavier inserts that I cut the inserts out and actually added some heavier inserts, kind of an outsert, so to speak. I'm shooting a 100 grain head, but this arrow by rule is still a pretty light arrow, but it is a very durable, very great arrow. I've killed elk with this arrow. I've killed whitetails. I've killed a little bit of everything with this arrow. This was an arrow I've used exclusively for the last 2 years. And this is an arrow I just fletched up. Well, actually T-Bone did, and you can see it's got some tack veins on it. I love yellow veins. I just always love yellow. I'm red-green colorblind, so I've always liked the yellow veins because I can see them. I got my Trump 2020 Aerotech wraps on there. I picked them up at Bowfest when I was out there this year in Wisconsin. I bought them. But what we did here is T-Bone's big on FOC, and that, that's front of center. If you don't know, a lot of you archery guys know exactly what he's talking about. This is over 17% FOC. I've got 100 grains of brass inserts in the front of this arrow, shooting a 100 grain head. So I'm shooting 470 to 480 grains in this arrow right here, versus this one's about 70 to 100 grains lighter. So this arrow just has a lot of wallop. And so I'm going to Colorado next week. We hunt 700-800 pound elk and then on to the Navajo Nation. So this arrow is what I'm going to take with this, right at 500 grains. It's got a heck of a lot of FOC. And this arrow is going to penetrate like a mad dog. So these arrows I really like. I mean, obviously this is 2 different arrows that I shoot. The bone collector model, and then this gold tip. I also have an Easton shaft I really like. We use a lot of different arrows, man. I'm a student of the game when it comes to different arrows. I love piddling with different arrows. T-Bone does especially. So I'm always shooting different shafts, and even though we shoot G5 broadheads, I'm always shooting the competitors' broadheads to see how they perform too. And I have found that, you know what, I'm now even a bigger fan of the G5 product, which brings me to something else. It's been a month or 2 ago, we posted a buck that I shot in Kansas that the arrow literally bounced off of the deer. Now, I will say, talking about experimenting, I was using a lighter shaft. I was using a mechanical broadhead and a lighter shaft. But I will tell you something, it's unbelievable. I got to read the comments, and holy hell, does everybody know everything they are about bow hunting. They've done everything. They've done this, they've done that. But I will tell you this, and this might sound arrogant. Man, this is all I ever did. Man, since I've been 17, 18 years of age, all I've ever done, and it's because of you guys and a lot of people watching this, man, is experiment. So do I make plenty of mistakes? Yes. Do I look back and wish I would have had an arrow with a lot more FOC? That same exact arrow that bounced off that buck is the same arrow that I'd killed elk with successfully that year, that I killed the rest of my deer with that year. Even just after that, I shot a good buck with the same bow and arrow, the same setup. So if you read that comment, you'll see a lot of hate. Man, it makes me mad that these people, I guess scientists, my science is in the blood and death. I got stuff laying dead everywhere. I've killed hundreds and hundreds of animals with a bow, so I don't know He-Man that's, killed a few deer with a bow and arrow to act like they know more than I do. I'm trying to show you what I shoot and what I've had success with. That was a freak deal, man. It was a situation to where if I had a little bit more FOC, maybe I'd have found success. But in many, many thousands of arrows I've shot, I've never had something like that happen. Things can happen that are hard to explain. That was a freak situation. I can't completely put my head around it and figure out what exactly happened. But one thing ain't gonna happen is you guys come in here and macho man start bowing up and act like y'all know everything, because I've got more deer laying dead around the side of my house than some of you guys posting them negative comments that y'all have ever even seen in the hoof, much less shot an arrow at. So I don't want to hear that. But anyway, when it comes to bow setup, it's a preference thing. You have to shoot what you got to have confidence with. And so confidence changes from year to year based on situations and what you get yourself in. And this is why I shoot this stuff. Man, we are always working with these companies, trying to develop better ways, trying to develop ways that we can find more success, not just for us, but for everybody. And we share it. And that's why when you see a video like you saw, that arrow bouncing off, we share it, man, because we're not hiding anything. We share everything that freaky happens, everything good that happens. And I've had the exact opposite happen. I've had some things in penetration and had some animals I've killed that I didn't think I hit them good at all. And actually they didn't go 80, 90 yards. So good and weird things can happen for the good and bad. And so when it gets down to it, we just want to share with y'all everything that happens. So that's my little take on that, and I'll move on to something else we'll talk to you about on product. And what I'm usually tip my arrows with, we use exclusive G5 products. This is the Havoc. That's a 2-blade G5. Unbelievable how sharp this steel is right here. But if you're more of a fan, which I really am, this dead meat, this is 100 grain dead meat, still the rear deploying, so they don't take a lot of energy to open these heads. With the Havoc and the dead meat, I've killed elk, I've killed moose, deer, turkey, everything. So these 2 heads, I have no problem hunting anything in the country. The only thing I'd probably change out would be for maybe a Cape buffalo and some African game, but pretty much everything in North America, I'd be completely confident with both of these heads. This is my little box that I take with me everywhere I go. This is actually a fishing lure box, and so this just worked out good, and it's a heck of an idea. So this is the lure lock technology, and everything kind of locks in place, so I can keep all my broadheads kind of locked into a area without them sliding around and doubling up my heads, and they actually stick to that gel right there, so you can see that they kind of don't move around. So I like that. And speaking of something that ain't gonna move around too much, and these things are so sharp, like T-Bone said, they'll cut you before God gets news. This is the new G5 Megameat, over 2 inches, and I'm talking about this right here is just feels like it should be on forensic files or something. I mean, it just looks like death. And the thing about this, if you're one of those guys that seems to have a problem and always hit center of an animal, and you're liver shot and you're gut shot and deer, Megameat, you're just gonna do a lot of damage. So I'm not saying shoot for the center of an animal, but this right here is gonna do unbelievable damage. And you still got this mechanical technology that the blades are pushing out. So it doesn't take a lot of energy, or zero energy hardly, to open. You got a huge cut, so you still got to have that beef to push on through. That's one reason I'm going with this heavier, almost 500 grain arrow, 471 to be exact, to push on through. So I'm going to shoot this in Colorado next week, so hopefully we'll be back on this page. We'll give you an update right here. Ryan will give you an update on what it did. But this is the G5 Megameat. Like I said, I just keep them nice and cozy and secure right here in this little Lure Locks fishing box. I actually stole this one from Mason. My boy Mason's a big bass fisherman. But right there, man, that works good. I can put that in my bow case and I'm rocking and rolling. So works good. I keep a few extra knocks in there, a few things like that. Every time I travel, I keep one extra release, just exactly like the one I shoot. So that's always good, because a lot of times you get out in the middle of nowhere, especially on these elk hunts, there's not an archery shop around. So I always advise bringing a backup release for sure. Here's some of the clothes I'm packing. I actually packed these clothes in my bow case, and you're looking at all my clothes, believe it or not, that I'm packing for about a 10-day elk trip. I've learned that if you pack durable clothes, you won't have to, you won't tear them up, and they'll be there for you. And plus, with airlines, it costs a ton of money to fly. And I pack them around, put them in this soft case, and they protect my bow. But this is some new stuff by Element. Man, I really like it. Unbelievable. This is in Realtree timber pattern. I like a good vest, this windproof, kind of a medium to heavyweight jacket I'll bring with me. Then I got several Wiccan shirts in there, kind of lightweight. When I say Wiccan shirts, stuff like this, long sleeve, real cool. If you do get to sweating, it kind of pulls it off your body. I even got me some long underwear, again, kind of that polypropylene type of, I don't even know what you call it, just almost that disco material, but it looks good. And I even got me some drawers, man. Got me some underwear made by Element. I got that. My phone's ringing. I don't have to wait. I even got that, but I got some underwear made out of this same material. You don't need about 2 or 3 pair for an elk hunt, because heck, you can be out there about 10 days. You ain't gonna be showering. You're gonna be out there smelling like elk by the end of it and killing stuff. But that's some of the Element clothes. And look at this. I'm gonna show y'all a cool belt. This particular belt right here is made by Next Belt, and boy do I love it. So it just comes in like that, and it clicks. So you can basically click it up and get a little more tighter, and you can pull it off real easy, and you can click that thing. It ain't coming loose. Let me tell you, it ain't coming loose. It comes right off. So this Next Belt, I always hunt in this belt. Even got my little Chevy bow tie, but we got them in Bone Collector too. So check out these Next Belt. Really nice. And last thing I want to show y'all, guys at the office probably want me to show y'all, but I literally just stole these off our man Jackson Bishop's desk. They brand new, and there's some new hats we're gonna have up on bonecollector.com soon. Leather patch, looking cool, looking good. This bucket is the popular bucket everybody likes. I'm telling you, check this out. tan, green, looking good, leather patch, brand new bone collector leather patches. I'm gonna actually swipe these and take them to elk camp. See if I can't turn at least a bill of them red a little bit. But that's a few of the things that I bring, and then what's left over, I throw in my scent crusher bag. That's a little bit of what I got going on, a little bit of the current happenings right now at Bone Collector. Like I said, if you like this kind of stuff, please subscribe, man. We're gonna keep it coming. And look, if there's things you like, let us know. If there's things you don't like, let us know. Comment, man. We're gonna read this stuff, and we're making this channel specifically for y'all's needs and to hear what y'all want to hear from us. If there's something you like about us, tell us. If there's something you don't like about us, you can tell us that too. But we're gonna come back at you and let you know how we feel about it too. We're just regular folks that like to hunt and fish, and we've been blessed to be doing it. And I am so proud and convicted right now to, you know, sell hunting license and make sure people get a little piece of what we all love. And if you're watching this for the first time, don't let nobody tell you what to do in hunting. Hunt the way you want to. Follow the game and fish guidelines and use Good Lord's renewable sea sources the way you want to. Don't let no he-man, macho man come in here and act like he knows more than you. If they try to do it to me or Chuck Adams, some of these other people, they're gonna do it to you, man. Sometimes folks just got a lot of insecurities and they bow up and want to, you know, flex and do things like that. For me, I just want to see people have fun, man. And a lot of times when you have success, it's through fun. And when you're having fun, it's going to be success no matter what you're doing. So have fun and be sure to subscribe and check out all the stuff we got coming at you at Bone Collector. We'll give you an update. Hopefully, about the time you finish watching this, you're looking on our Bone Collector social media, maybe Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, here on this YouTube channel, and you see old Waddy with a big old elk, because I'm getting after him. I'm ready to go, man. I'm going to be hunting them like Mark Geis hunted down Terrace. That's how I'm going to go at it. That's just, I take that mentality to the woods. I try not to be a nice guy out in the woods. I got to hunt them like I think they're doing something to my wife and kids. And I don't know. I know that might be wrong, but when I'm out there, I look at them as the enemy, and it just helps me be successful. It pushes me on up the mountain. It gets me in that mode to where I feel like I can just crawl under them and come out and grab them by the foot. Hunt them like they terrorists. Hunt like you're trespassing and hunt them like they're terrorists. I'm Michael Waddell, and I hope you enjoyed that, and I approve this message.